Hi, I want to talk about elections, and in particular the upcoming election on the 3rd of November 2020 in the United States. And the purpose of this video is not to politicize anything, but to make some pleas and urges and give American voters hopefully some useful information and indeed some good news, I hope. When I started looking into this, I was astonished at the variety of laws and rules, sometimes right down to the local level in the United States, for how elections are to be run. Here in the United Kingdom, it is exactly the same across the whole of the UK. So whether you live in Northern Ireland or Scotland or Wales or England, the rules are universal and simple. Those eligible to vote should make sure that they are registered on the electoral register. Local authorities from time to time double check that the details are correct, and you are therefore registered to vote. You can demand a postal vote for no reason whatsoever, and you can vote in person. And in fact, voting in person here is very easy. Across the United Kingdom, the polls open at 7 in the morning on election day, and they close at 10 o'clock at night on election day. There are more than sufficient polling stations, so there is hardly ever a queue or overcrowding. You can go along at 7 in the morning or lunchtime or afternoon tea time or after work and vote within minutes. In the United States, every state has different laws, and sometimes every county has different local laws. And there's been much made of the, frankly, assault on the United States Postal Service, the pandemic emergency, and the undoubted increase in vote by mail. And of course, we are tending to focus on the difficulties, and undoubtedly there are great difficulties. But I have done a little bit of research, and as I said, some of the news for some voters in America is really very good. There are two websites which you should definitely find out about, because frankly, you are in election season and you should start some serious planning to make sure that your vote is effective. I'll put the links in the description below, but briefly they are vote.org and US Vote Foundation. And the second one in particular goes into quite granular levels of detail so that you can put in your state and your county and your voting district and get the applicable voting rules and regulations pertaining to you in particular. I'll let you explore these for yourself, but be aware that the rules and the restrictions are extremely variable. I put in my own home county and state where I lived as a child, just as an example. So that was Wayne County, Michigan. And I found what I think is the best possible scenario. And other states are far more restrictive. But before you can do any planning to vote, you better make sure that you know the local rules and then work around those local rules. Well, it could be as good for you if you live in Michigan or anywhere, any other state which has similar rules, because it looks like you can actually vote in person at an election office in the middle of September. So you wouldn't need to rely on the Postal Service and worry about its delays and being sabotaged and everything else. You can effectively go and cast your ballot in person 6 weeks or so before November the 3rd. You don't even need to apply by post for an absentee ballot. Apparently, you can do this in person. So you go to the election office, you request an absentee ballot, you fill it in there, and you hand it back in to them. And that is the job done. Again, other states far more restrictive, and some even haven't even made up their minds yet. But I thought I would make this short video to inform people that there are things that they can do. Planning is everything. Find out how you can vote, whether you can vote early. Sometimes it's 45 days, sometimes it's 15 days, sometimes it's 5 days, and so on. And how you can actually, the mechanics of how you can actually do that absentee voting. And also find out other important information as to the polling station that you should actually go to if you decide or have to vote in person on November the 3rd, and exactly its opening hours. I do hope this is of some value. Please vote. I think the more people that know that they can do these workarounds, the better. So all the very best for the next couple of months, and for goodness sake, take care and keep well.